Welcome to Afternoon Express. There are a lot of people that are alone over the festive season, and today we'd like to explore the emotional and psychological dimensions of spending the holidays on your own. Clinical psychologist Lindile Mabata is here to provide expert insights and strategies to help you navigate being alone. Welcome, Lindile.
Thank you for having me.
So this is quite an intense time for people that are navigating grief, being alone, not having anywhere to go, not having anyone to be with. How do you navigate this process this time of the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a difficult time because I think so many emotions are heightened during the holiday season. So I think it's really one of the most important things is to be very, very deliberate about how you manage your emotional well-being, your psychological well-being during this time. So it's, you know, as much as we can plan for our holidays to sort of, to have the fun, I think it's important as well that if you're a person, you know you're going to struggle with loneliness, or you know you're going to spend this time alone, whether it's because of divorce or, you know, your kids are spending time with family and you find yourself on your own, or as you said, you know, because of a bereavement and it's a very different situation for you this time around. It's very important to really think about, okay, how can I take care of myself in this time, because it likely will be very difficult.
So what does one do in that case? What would you suggest if you are, and that's such a great point, you know, being divorced and navigating being without your kids for the first time or without your partner, your ex-partner for the first time, that does got to take its toll. So how do you prep for that in action?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people tend to feel quite a lot of shame and embarrassment around actually letting people know that you are by yourself during this time, or that, you know, you're not going to have the ideal family gathering during the holidays. So I think it's important to be honest, you know, with the people that you can be honest about. You don't need to go into a lot of details about why you're by yourself, but those questions do come. You know, we speak when we're at the office with colleagues, you know, what are you getting up to? So I think it's important that if you are going to be by yourself and you know you would rather not do that, you can share with friends, with people that maybe you can spend some of that time with, to just let them know, you know, I don't have any particular plans. You can use a bit of humor as well to say, you know, if you have extra space at your table, let me know, and I'm very, you know, and I'm available to come. But also really using the social circles that you already have. So with friends, where people, I think, can feel a great deal of shame, just to be able to say, you know what, actually, this holiday is going to be very, very different for me. So I wouldn't mind to spend it in a different way, or maybe I can host, you know, would you mind coming over to my place? And we can have somewhat of a different holiday season this time.
So, Lindile, you touched on something so wonderful, and I want to take a step back and go back to it as a foundational phase. How does one navigate those feelings of stigma and shame if you are recently divorced, or you are spending time on your own, or you are going through a bereavement? Give me a step-by-step process where you can talk to yourself and talk yourself through that, so that you can say to someone, do you have an extra, you know, space at your table?
Yeah. Well, I love that you've sort of pointed out the fact that there is somewhat of a self-talk that is involved. So I think the first thing is for you to know that you're definitely not alone in this. A great deal of the shame and embarrassment can come from thinking that you are going through this particularly adverse situation. Other people seem really happy, and it's quite a shameful thing that you don't have maybe the ideal family setting. So the way that you speak to yourself is very, very important, to sort of say, okay, I'm experiencing my holidays in a very different way perhaps than many other people, but that's okay. You know, families also look very different, and there's other people who, they do have family, but for whatever reason, they can't be with them during this time. So it's all right that that's also happening.
What I'm feeling is okay.
What I'm feeling is okay, yes. And then I think as well, just to say, okay, how can I maybe look at creating my own traditions? Maybe there were traditions that I had before, but because this time around I'm by myself, I'm not with my family, I can't have those normal traditions. So maybe you can look at what things can I start that sort of give me energy this festive season. Maybe you can do like a small road trip. It doesn't have to be that you sit and have a massive feast. But you can do something with a friend, or even if it's one family member that, you know, can be over there. Perhaps you can start something with neighbors. You know, you can look at how you can gift people, for instance. So maybe sometimes we look at what we can receive, but also shifting, I think, a little bit into maybe being giving and seeing what you can do for others during that time. So I think those are some of the things that one can do that kind of can shift away from a little bit of the feelings that are very internal of shame and embarrassment, and rather think, okay, how can I make this a time that feels good for myself and maybe help others feel a little bit better.
And there's certainly truth in the fact that it feels really good to give, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lindile. You've been an absolute pleasure to have you in studio. So there you go, guys. You know, the holidays can be tough, but remember that it is okay to seek support and to practice self-compassion during the season. On social media, we would like to know from you, when you have a moment to yourself, what is your absolute favorite thing that you like to do alone? Remember to use the hashtag Afternoon Express.